It's Logan Sama here, back once again on my Rinse residency, and this month it is my honour and pleasure to be speaking to two acts that have had an incredible impact on the sound that I have loved for several decades now. And the first person in the studio is a man who cultivated an entire culture around bass weight, fidelity, danceability, and shutting down raves across the country. If you didn't have this man's dubs in your box at the formative years of this sound, then you were missing out. It is my pleasure and honour to welcome into the studio Jon E Cash. Welcome.
Blessings. Love the intro, G. Love the intro.
Well, it's great to have you back on Rinse because, of course, you know, you have a very strong history with what happened here in this studio. Of course, I have to hold my hands up and say the first time I really got to hear your records, you know, in heavy rotation was Slimzy. You know, we have to hail him up.
The general man.
Yeah.
I call Slimzy the iTunes of Spotify at that time. He's the platform.
It was amazing because you go to the rave, like Sidewinder, for example, and I just wanted to hear what had Slimzy cut that day.
Yes.
And I know that, you know, back in the day you would be linking him at JTS with your DAT tapes and your CDs.
Music house. I remember that going to. I do miss the days of going to music house, sitting in the long corridor and seeing, you know, you see all the jungle man, them drum and bass man, them. You see all the garage men, them. And we're just, you know, you're listening in the room.
What's he cutting in there?
See Wookie coming in, playing. I mean, what are they cutting? They were good old days, man.
It was an incredible time, and it was an incredible time for the music as well. So we're here to sort of celebrate the release of this beautiful double vinyl package, which celebrates a selection of some of the bangers in your history. Jon E Cash Sublow, which is of course the sound that you created and you're responsible for. And I just wanted to get you here on the show and talk a little bit about how it came to be that this sound, you know, came out of the studio from me, because you've got a very unique story which is spoken about in this album release, and the people can read that a little bit about your background. But for the people that aren't familiar, they might just know, oh yeah, Jon E Cash, he made Battle and War and, you know, Mug and Hoods Up, and you know, he's done them tunes, and he's made grime tunes, and sick, alright, cool. But you didn't come through the same routes that many of the younger artists came through, and you also did not approach making your music in the same way that a lot of those younger artists at the time were making as well, because I remember hearing a Jon E Cash tune in a dance, or even in Music House with JTS coming through the speakers getting cut, and a lot of the time it did not sound the same as the next man's tune. So how did you start out on your journey of making music? Because I know it's slightly different.
What, music from the beginning?
Yes, from the beginning. Let's go back.
Well, from the beginning. So after we had a tremendous graffiti childhood.
Which I do want to just say is recorded in this as well. Some amazing photos in this album.
So after the graffiti, me and my boys went to New York, and we said, look, we're finished with graffiti now. What's the next thing we're going to do? We all, you know, music's the next thing to do. So we formed a group called Construction, and we was part of a big power pack, like a Wu-Tang thing in West London, with like MCD, Power Lords. It's like a massive Wu-Tang thing. It was like a Wu-Tang before
Collective,
yeah. So me being in that is how sort of you saw me bring the Black Ops together. So that's like 1990, right? So we started getting into the music. Now we used to rent a studio in it's called IBW. Oh, no, IMBW. It was in East London somewhere. And we used to rent studio time, make hip hop. Had a few releases on what's the record label? Damn, my mind's gone blank. The Yardie label in Halsden. Damn, I can't remember. But it's the big distribution in Halsden. He done all the reggae records, but he gave us a little record deal. So he's making hip hop back in the days. And through me making hip hop, that's what geared me when I was making sublow grime stuff. I treated that how I made hip hop, and all the stuff I learned making hip hop, with the samplers, how they layered the drums. So I never came from a grime or came from came from nothing in
Even
grime.
garage
I came
or
from,
jungle.
I was there for hip hop. So, and I was always fascinated with production. Never could do production, but I was always fascinated. Always been in the studio, and I was into bass. I was a bass. I loved anything to do with bass. My dad was a bass player. So,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
so I was bass driven. I used to love B-line, non-stop. You know what I mean? So, making hip hop back in the 90s, that's my educating days. So when I started making dance music, my stuff was kind of hard because I had that hard hip hop sound. And I was into producing. I was into people like Marley Moore, Said G, Ultramagnetic. Who was it back in the days? Yeah, Eric Sermon. And if you listen to these guys' production, they're weighty, bro. Like Eric Sermon stuff is like cave music. You know what I mean? So I was into that, the weight. I was into the guys who bring the biggest weight to the hip hop kind of thing.
And a lot of it is very skippy and percussive as well, still with it. Like the breaks element is very much there. And I think that's something that's always come through in your drums as well, where it's not like that kind of
Richards,
you know, like that reggae swing, you know, that offbeat. It's very like breaksy and
hard,
lifts up. The energy's there. You can't like lean back on it. It is. We're ready to go.
There's a hip hop track. I tell you where one track is really inspired me to make the kind of sort of sublow stuff. Humpty Dump. So the Humpty Dance.
Humpty Dance. Oh yeah.
Humpty Dance. Remember? And all hip hop beats. Well, there you go. You got grams at slow tempo. You know what I mean? That's where the. You know what I mean? I want because I used to go raving, go to hip hop raves, and the only DJ at the time was Tim West, playing the raves, playing all hip hop in the clubs, and like this track stood out all the time, man. Humpty Dance. I said, and I'm like, there was 10 tracks. You got Ultramagnetic, which is what's there? Chorus Line. If you want to research these tunes, Chorus Line, that was the biggest anthem in the hip hop clubs. And Humpty Dance. You listen to these tunes and you hear the weight and the production, then you hear how I looked at music. I had to have that, what their stuff did in the club, I had to have that in my music.
There's also a story as well in the zine about you going to Miami. And as well.
Right, so back in the days when, so after getting New York, I got border guy in New York. So I started going to Florida and stuff like that, Florida, Miami and all that. And all I knew is New York hip hop. That's all I knew is New York hip hop, yeah? So one day, I was in a car park and there was a rave going on. I saw pure dudes with dreads and white tees, gold teeth. So at that time I was in the car with my missus. I said, look, I need to go and see what's going on in the club, right? I knew it was hip hop, but it was different. I was saying it's like Miami bass, but I was intrigued to go in there. Anyway, my girl sat in the car, panicking. I've gone in the club. I'll never forget. They thought I was Popo. Are you Popo, man? I'm from London, because there was no my colour there.
Yeah,
just dark skinned dudes with dreads, gold teeth, dirty South. Yeah?
These times as well, they didn't even believe that there were, you know, people of colour in London as well. Everyone's white drinking tea and the Queen. Yeah.
You know, this is even New York, when New York had they have a bit of knowledge about UK. This is the dirty South. They ain't got a clue about anyone being white colour from UK. So I went in the club, went in there. I was in for about half an hour. My girl was mad. I was in there for half an hour. I was absorbing this music. It was like Miami bass, but slower. I keep saying, what is this music they're making, man? I'm in there studying, thinking, Jesus, I never heard this before. Everyone's going crazy in the dance. I mean, it was a club full of laser lights and dark-skinned breads with dreads and gold teeth and gold chains. And it was just a mad music. I was fascinated. Went to the local record stores next day. I said, what's this music I'm hearing in the club? I described it to him, and he played out different CDs. I bought about 10 CDs, brought them home. And what I was noticing, about 4 or 5 of the CDs had this Master P label, No Limits on it. Okay, this is before anyone knew about Master P. No, when I brought it back to London, no one, what's this you're listening to? I used to get cussed. No one knew about it. So that I saw was like, oh, this is like the rave part of, because I see the way they're raving in the club. It wasn't like New York hip hop when men do that kind of b-boy dance and I mean, you know, New York had they were kind of hardcore. These guys was skanking out, which I don't see guys in New York doing, apart from the old days in the 80s with Kid and Play. But they were doing some different kind of dance, and it was like Luke Skywalker music, but slowed down. And then I found out, it's Master P, and there was enough kind of underground cats from New Orleans. You know, other states. There was instrumental CDs as well. which I don't know what that was. It was just instrumental bassline music. So that always stuck in my head. I always played the stuff in my car. And then fast forward now, a few years, I'm going to garage raves. I'm going garage raves, going to all them underground parties, grazing, all the raves you can think of. And I was in Coliseum. I always got Coliseum. I loved the last set. It was like the 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. set. Always raving up. And I heard one tune got played. I said, what's this tune, man? Stuck in my head. Life is what you make it. So I thought, wow, if I can fuse this, the bass line, with that dirty South stuff, then I'll come for a genre. Because I'm loving the garage of rave. Because the hip hop scene in the UK, it becomes stagnant. There was no girls in the dance. It was all man them. The garage had the girl in it. Had the flavour, champagne, good life, but it never had the hip hop part. What was missing. So I thought, let me fuse these two things together. Because I know I'm from the hip hop, and I'm liking this garage stuff. So I said, I can fuse these two worlds together. And I only knew that, but the young guys that are into hip hop, they're gonna like what I'm making, because I'm a hard hip hop man. I'm the hardest hip hop man. I thought I was the hardest hip hop man. Didn't like slow jams, didn't like nothing but hard beats. So if I can like this, I know there's another crowd that can like it. So I was doing this for a long time, like making it IMW Studios, like 97, 90, 98, but 90 sort of 99 is when we got the sound corrected. You know what I mean? And I actually pressed that up. And funny enough, I had to go IMW Studio at midnight sessions. For those who don't know, we had to pay for studio time by the hour, yeah? So we used to do a late night studio time because it was like a cheaper rate. But I remember
That makes sense.
me going in and Comanche Sly coming out. Now, Comanche Sly, that's a strange name to you, yeah? But Comanche Sly is unknown MC.
Ah, yes, of course.
Right? Now, when I saw Coliseum, I like, what's this dude on the mic doing here? But it was just chatting like flower lyrics, like happy stuff. This boy, let me tell you now, UK hip hop, UK rap. He was part of he's part of Ice-T's crew, the Syndicate. He was the hardest MC out. Hard. So when I saw him in the garage rave talking, cartoon raps, I couldn't believe it. Because I know the guy from when I last saw him, I saw him in IMW Studio coming out, and as I'm going in, he used to do daytime sessions. He had big money. They're like Ice-T funding them. We'll be going at night time. So, when I saw him in the garage rave, I thought, oh, sing. So, there's more people liking this music listen to hip hop. So, and I mean, that kind of inspirated me, sort of thing. So, me getting Coliseum, hearing the garage sound, I fused the sound together.
So where are the first kind of places that your records, your tracks were getting played?
Coliseum, man. Because I was raving all the time. And I remember like R.I.P. Charlie Brown. I remember I still got CDs at home. When my tune would come on, I have to big up Wesley J. I did Wesley J a dub plate. Yeah. He was like, he liked the dark stuff. I did him a dub plate. He rinsed that dub plate every Friday, bro. Every Friday. And I saw the reaction from the crowd. And Coliseum is like the UK version of New York's Tunnel. Like, the tunnel in New York was like the hard hip. All the gangs would go there from each borough. It was a street club. Coliseum was the same. All the street gangs in the UK were there. I remember my tunes used to get played, and I see all the roadmen them going nuts. So I knew it was onto a winner. So it got played on dub plate for months. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna press it up on vinyl. Pressed up on vinyl. Went to Black Market. And Black Market, that's the place where you put your record on the deck and everyone's listening. So they're gonna pump it or dump it.
The real Dragon's
Den. Yeah. So I remember I was there and I met Nicky Black Market for the first time. He goes, let me put it on, let me hear it. I said, oh shit, all right, because I wanted to go downstairs and do the headphones, you know what I mean? Put it on, boom. Pure people saying, mate, you selling it now? Started buying it there and then. He took a box off of me. It was selling straight away. He asked me, you signed? I said, nah, I don't want to be signed. I've already done the hard work already.
I pressed it already.
Yeah, I've already pressed it already. Yeah. And then Easy played it. And that just catapulted it to another level.
And this is Drop Top Immigrant?
Yes. So when Easy plays the tune, he's like that's it, be all end all. You hear his tune get on Kiss. So then that catapulted that sound, boom. So I knew it was on to win, and I kept flying just kept making rhythms. At the same time, when I was making the rhythms, then there was a tune, like my tune we played on the radio, all the underground stations, and there was a tune used to get mixed in with my tune a lot. I kept saying, what's this tune, man? Like, it was different, because my stuff was different. them times there for not hearing my music before, for the first time as a president, like it was strange to a lot of people. So my tunes get played, and they hear this other tune getting played, called Raid by Charmsy. Just an off-key, dirty B-line tune, just off-key hip-hop beat with a bass on it. And that's how I linked with him. I said, well, we're on the same path, did the same thing, boom. We linked up, and have been friends ever since then. But yeah, that's how. And then obviously I met Dreddy through Dice, and that's how I got the kind of where I learned from the West London Power Pack, the kind of collaboration of the Wu-Tang,
the stable.
Stable. I want to do that with Black Ops. You know what I mean, so because when I put Drop Top, it was a white label. Then I had All About Cash, it was a white label. Hoes Don't Mean Ish was the first Black Ops release. That's worth money, but no one knows that. That's the first number 1, 001. I mean, so from then it was just flying colours, man. Just in the studio. Them time there, I bought my studio. So yes, that's happened. Yeah. So after IMW, and I really wanted to make this production, I said, what's in that studio I need to get? So I remember the hardware, Akai samplers, JVs, they had Trinity racks and all this stuff. So I said, the stuff I use in hip hop, because I was into that Dirty South sound, the horns, because you know Dirty South is known for the horns. Yeah. So my music, I was big for horns in my music. And I see what they were using. Because all them Dirty South tracks, Trick Daddy, all them Master P.
Slip and Slide records, yeah.
They used the Triton.
Yeah.
So I put the same rack as them. And that's why I've used that to the hip hop. Instagram stuff, yeah.
And that was a great thing about that time, because it was like an era where you're listening to the radio for a sound that stood out from everything else. And every time a new producer came through, it was because they delivered a sound that we didn't have yet. You know, you talk about Musical Mob making, Pulsate didn't sound like nothing else. Obviously, the Wileys, the Danny Reeds, the Dizzies, their sound's very different. It was a great time. Yeah, big shot. I mean, Eastwood again come through.
Oris J. Hey, if you're a new guy to music, listen, check out Oris J.
Also known as Dark One, so you might. There's other things. We had aliases and that back in the day,
Oris J, Jesus Christ, original breakbeat king in the dirty one. Jeez. Oris J, the Flex. I mean, so when I was doing my stuff, there was a lot of guys making underground garage. Now let's all so solid. They're making underground garage. I specifically said, I'm not making that. I'm making this. A whole different thing. It's gonna be the UK hip hop in the future. You're gonna be spitting bars, 16 lines. People still didn't get it at the time. Gary's about the flow, little hook sing along. No.
Yeah, just here's my little 16 gap. Let me say my flowery bars.
So I was doing this from day one. So I was alien to the hip hop, man, because I wasn't making traditional hip hop, and I was alien to the garage, man, because I wasn't making traditional garage. So I remember, I actually try and get radio shows. I remember going to Light FM and said, we don't know where to place you. Because that's how my music was sounding so different, because we don't know how to place you. What show is it going to be? We can't fit you in. So that's how my music was so different. Imagine that getting told, music don't suit the station and it doesn't fit in. You never heard it before. So that's how, at the time, it sounded way to the left, you know what I mean, to what was going on.
Now, obviously, as your music started to really be cemented as a vital part of sets at the time, we're talking 2000, 01, 02, it was essential in the playlist, the sets at that time. You always pushed your label forwards, and I think this is another thing that set you apart. The branding was always on point.
Thank you.
If I got a Jon E Cash record on white label, it was a rarity. Because I go to the shop, there's 20 white labels on the wall, but there's 3 Black Ops labels on there. And that was obviously a thing that the garage man were all doing at circles.
Yeah, I followed them, not the professional.
Yes, exactly. Whereas a lot of the people that were coming into grime off the roads were not putting the same level of branding and presentation. Exactly.
Yeah, I got that from the hip hop days. I mean, bought your CDs, you saw, especially Master P, you had all the bling bling on it.
The covers were iconic.
You had to be, your labels representing you. And I thought, if I'm gonna put a white label, you already it's like putting a white label in a record shop. It's like putting a lamb chop in a beef market. You can't really decipher what's what. So the branding was important. It was in I mean, that's why I put the sound bites in all my songs. It was always a sound bite, Black Ops or Jon E Cash. There's always something. There's a Cashman or there's a Black Ops. So
I mean, I had Rude Kid and Silencer on the show a couple months ago, and they were like one of the few people that started doing that again in grime. You know, several years after we're talking the era that you came through. But it's interesting that was such a big part of your music, making it instantly recognisable on top of the sonics. Because you hear the horns, you hear the breaks, you hear the bass, you know it's a Jon E Cash record, it's a Black Ops record. But having the sound clips on there as well, you know, the famous JFK sample in there. And
you know why I started really pushing that, because at that time to promote myself. I remember going to raves and just looking at guys on stage, thinking, shit, man. How am I gonna get in there? I'll be getting sidewinders, and I remember seeing Principal. I mean, he's always helping me out. He said, I've got time with Principal. I'll be there. He used to see me. I used to see you all the time in the early sidewinders, at the front, looking. And I'll be like, yeah, I got to be on there one day. But the days of tape packs, So I thought, how am I gonna promote myself? They used to always call me out in the dance. They got Jon E Cash in the dance. And I remember them days, tape packs was everywhere. Mm-hmm. So my name, Jon E Cash, was everywhere on the tape packs. But didn't know why. So, I remember, I know all the roadmen names, so every rave I was going to, it was bigging me up in a rave. So that's when that's why I did the first song, Jon E Cash, dropped up Mimic, because my name, Jon E Cash, was known on the tape packs alone by the big ups. So yeah, that was like the underground version of our social media.
Well, the great thing about those sound clips as well is, you know, anytime someone hears a you're getting promoted in a rave, you're not even there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the people that don't know your music, they might have never heard your records before. But
subliminally.
I was a teenager. I was at university. I'm going around record shops with my little clips recorded off the radio.
I remember you young. I remember you, man.
Yeah. And I remember when I just started. I'm talking like 16, so like garage days early. I'm trying to play people clips of tunes. Or like a kid might come in and try and hum the tune back, but you got that soundbite in there.
You know,
it's easy. Oh yeah, what's the new Jon E Cash tune? Yeah, the one that goes, it narrows it down. You know what I mean? The new Black Ops record. So yeah, very very smart. The approach to it is, you know, I can see that you've like pulled in the bits that work from different, and that filters into your music as well.
I remember hearing So Solid. They were big in Holland here, and there was always that Dilemma song. So Solid. What's that tune?
That got added in afterwards as well, because when Big Kid made that beat originally, that weren't in there. But when it was signed, So Solid, boom.
I remember hearing it just when you're buzzing in. Remember, I'm a raver. I'm hearing stuff. I hear that soundbite that stayed in my head.
Yeah.
So that's how I thought my music's got to be. You know what I mean? Exactly the same in people's memory. And you know, I had a really hard battle with the DJs, because you know they were stuck in the old school ways. They didn't want to move in the new school. So remember, a lot of the grime guys don't even see the battle that I had to go through.
Of course.
It was just me and a few people trying to push this thing. And I was always in the circuit in the club trying to push this thing. They were not. I just said, look, I just told DJs, look, play my tune. If it's garbage, I'll never pest you again. They put the tune in and mash up the dance. Because I'm a raver.
Yeah.
First of all, I am a raver first. So I know what's going to mash up the crowd. If I don't want to, I hear tunes. I can always tell, like, you can give me 10 records that's not been out yet. I can pick all the bangers. I know which ones are the bangers. I had a good ear for that. So, I was there trying to push this sound and trying to show them what's going on. And then after, I said, these bedroom DJs that I'm giving records to, they will become in the forefront. And that's when my sound blew up, because I was really feeding the bedroom DJs.
Feeding them, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
you know, I'm going into the record shops and making sure I
should drive around. I should go outside stores.
Yeah.
You know, because them times there, I press up a lot of records, and I was pressing records for fun, because I had numerous amount of income that coming in. And I was loving what I'm doing, and I'll go around my car, how the man in New York do, sending records at the back of the car.
Yeah.
I was in that records going north, south. It was good. I enjoyed them days. I mean. Yeah, so I always enjoy it. So I was always meet guys in the street, give them records. But I get guys still today coming up to me. Man, I remember you, man. You give me PR tunes in the back of your boot and all that. I remember it, but yeah, they always see me in the club and say, I remember you, blah blah blah. I went to Sidewinder in Napa, and I was like, obviously I'm just there, just raving. I mean, your guys come up to me. I remember you, man. I was a kid when I got your records. And, you know what I mean? It's still like a. To me, it's still like a little blast for me when I hear that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, because they see me different. I'm like, I'm raving. I'm not the same person he told me, you know what I mean, back in the days.
But it's funny though, because you still look the same.
So,
like you still got the same.
The
arms are the same. The shoulders and chest there. The smile.
Yeah.
The smile is always recognisable as well.
They say, your age, boy. I say, yeah.
Because looking at some of these photos as well, I can see you must be like 10, 12, 14. I can still see the face. There's a photo of you that is in that zine that you can't be older than like 5 or 6, but you're giving the eyebrow.
Is that one on the wall?
Same face. No, I think like I can't remember the exact.
Must be the wall. There's a young one, and there's one when I'm standing outside the penny for the guy. Penny for the guy, you know. Yeah, man. Penny for the guy. For those who don't know, that was you can go on the station once a year or about 2 weeks, and you can get sit there, ask for free money to buy fireworks. They should. I don't know why they cancel that in the UK. That is tradition. You know what I mean? Yeah, good times.
So you were saying before we went on edit, you've fallen back in love with making music again now.
Yeah.
You've always been prolific with your output.
Yeah.
happened?
I tell you what happened. Right. So, let me give a little breakdown. So, I never stopped making music. Yeah. Stopped putting it out because of the MP3 stuff. I didn't like my music being just a piece of invisible web in the air. I couldn't get the grips with this, yeah? So 2010, I think Dreddy, he was trying to come on, get back on the music, man, get back. And God bless the guy, he pressed up there's an EP that done well. There's a Cash, it's a white sleeve, black sleeve with white writing, got four bangers on it, they sold out. He goes, look, they still love your sound. Because I was like, I don't into grab no more, man. I'm into house and blah, blah, blah. But he pressed the records up, he got rid of them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to rebuild my studio. Yeah? So I said, I can't make this kind of music on headphones. So in back in my garden, I spent like 20 grand building my studio. I built it up. So once I got that built, I was making rhythms galore, making back in the zone, but still not putting music out. I couldn't finish stuff. I was in a rut. I create, but I couldn't finish. I just couldn't finish, man. I wasn't getting the sound that I wanted. So, always making music. But to fast forward how I am now with this kind of new label, Freedom Music, I fell in love with the Raven again. Raven was like, oh damn, because it got to the point where you hear the garage scene was hearing the same songs, same old songs they're playing from 2000. Come on, man, I can't read that stuff no more. Then the funky house scene come in, and that got shut down. Then I was always in South America. Always in South America. Every time I can go to South America, I was over there, just enjoying life. And then when I came back and I started going to these raves, Emma Piano. So hey, this is interesting. It's brand new, like the whole Sonics. It's brand new, very bass heavy. Went to a couple of raves. I see everyone skanking. I was like, oh, okay. And I fell in love with that, just the dancing thing. And then I see the UK mixing it up with the UK hybrid with the Emma Piano. And then the Emma Piano was a bit too slow. Then the UK house DJs like the Wigman, Super D's, they were playing that regular, and they were sort of bringing this sort of new tribally sort of sound. And I fell in love with the Raven. And I said, you know what? I love this music, and what's missing is the dark. What I can bring into it. So I'm not going to do what they're doing. I'm going to do that tempo, but me. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm making sublow at 118. That's basically what it is. I mean, that's what it is. So now, and they all say to me, your music is different. So I get told, your music is different. Your music's not like what the men are doing. So it's almost like you're building the whole scene. So if you're producers out there who's make grime, make some underground music at 118. So then instead of man MCing to it, you're going to keep people dancing to it. Because with the grime scene, no one dances. I see people dancing. I don't see videos of man dancing to grime. So we'll look at the stage and pure mayhem. If you're making underground sounds, the grime, slow your music down and do it to a dance level, and you can have people dancing to your sounds. So that's what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Now I've got my sound perfected now. You know what I mean? It's greasy, bro. And you hear my shit, like they'll say you hear your shit in the club, it's different. I mix down how I mix down grime. So it's hard. So when you play my stuff, my shit goes, your shit's loud, man, compared to other people's stuff. So I keep it the same essence, but at 118 tempo.
Are we ever gonna hear any more like 140 coming out of that studio?
Right. Yes. So I got the Jon E Cash classics out. Yeah, coming out. I think November 15th or November 21. And what's the sneaker? What are they called?
Sneaker Social Club.
Sneaker Social Club. Yeah. So and you can get stuff on my Bandcamp. And what it is, this is like the rebranding or the reminder. Reminder who I am from before.
This is a great package as well, by the way. Not to gas you up, but for me who was there, it covers 80% of the
classic,
of the memories of then. And for people that aren't familiar with what Jon E Cash's sound is about, what the sublow sound is about, what a great selection this is to feel it. And play it on vinyl as well, because you have it out there on Bandcamp, and I know they're all remastered as well.
Yeah.
Many of those are so they're thumping. Yeah. But there's something different about dropping
you put a needle,
vinyl.
you put it on, you appreciate this. I still play old hip hop now.
Yeah.
Play my old Electro records.
And vinyl selling again. The kids are. But I don't know.
Why is vinyl so much money to press up now? I don't know. Are you? Plastic ain't going up.
And it takes so long as well.
Man, so what I do, you know what I did appreciate with the vinyl days? Not anyone could just press up stuff and flood the market with garbage. As of now, the digital age, you know yourself, and go and get a laptop, put a beat on and upload it to the world.
Bro, people are getting AI tunes, they're just churning them out.
I got my friend, right? I couldn't believe it, the AI. He's on his phone. I'm in the studio, he sent me about 20 tunes. While I'm in the studio mixing down. So how you do that? He goes, AI. He types in what he wants. You might get about 20 tunes, but you do get about 3 or 4 good ones. Especially the vocals. Hey. AI, they say give you some, you just write down, they give you some good vocals. I ain't lying to you, man.
And there's labels that are pushing these artists on these big platforms. They don't even exist. You're not even buying into a real brand.
This is why the Spotify game is finished. Because they got the new, I think they got this new, they have something new on there when you upload stuff to Spotify. It's like they have the right to bootleg your record or redo it. So putting yourself on Spotify, you know yourself. If you're an artist, you put yourself on Spotify.
That's hilarious as well, because I remember back in the day, there was one person that you didn't bootleg their tune. there was no hearing like.
I used to have a phrase: you bootleg, you get broke legs.
There was no. I'm hearing war, but with 50. There wasn't that. I never heard that.
Myself never got bootlegger. I made very clear that, boy. Yeah. Because I had that hip hop mentality: bootleg, you get broke legs. That was my phrase. Back in the day, I was a bit more ghetto than that. All right. But the music now, like it was not anyone could just put out stuff, and now Spotify, because they got that, when you put stuff on Spotify, you don't own nothing. Once you put your stuff on Spotify, you have no rights. It's weird. You have no rights to your music. It's in the contract. It's weird. Like you might be on YouTube. Like say for example, I say, can you upload my music on YouTube? It's my song. You put it in your channel and get taken off.
Yeah.
So I can't even give you my music. Once you go on Spotify, the control's gone. People not realizing this. You know what I mean? So I think Spotify is a killer for the underground music. It's a killer.
And you know what? I'm a firm believer of everything isn't for everyone as well. So like trying to get your music to as many people as possible is just spreading yourself too thin, like butter on toast. But if you try and get your thing to the right people, you find your tribe.
That's it.
You connect
and feed them.
The art resonates. You're not just feeding an algorithm.
Yeah.
And
that's right. You're right.
You're feeding artistry, and there's a real connection there. And not to get all philosophical on the radio, but
it's true. It's true. I said, I was like, Johnny, when are you gonna put this out? When are you gonna put it out? I'm putting out lots of music. Believe me, I got the Graham 140 tempo stuff. I've got tons of that in my computer. Yeah, I've nothing to worry about. And I can tell you now, I've got an album with a guy called Grahamzilla, Straps. To me, I always say it, to me he's the best MC. Best. And when you hear him on an album, that's it, done. It's like big folk, it's like big man talking to small folks. But his flow is ridiculous. And we did the album in 2016, and when you hear the stuff, because there's been grime albums, but to me, that's not a grime album. I've not heard a grime album, like 12 grime cuts, just grime, no? That's 808, the original grime, them club smashers. So my album is like that. It's nothing diluted, all straight gutter. I'm not in none of that trap 808 stuff. None of that. It's the raw, the mad analog basses, that destroy the clubs. I got about. Strap's album's hard. His album is. He's got 15 cuts that no one even heard. I mean, straight gutter, straight monster rhythms, bro. That's the name of the album, Monster Music. Yeah.
I look forward to hearing
so that's gonna be coming after this. You know what I mean? And then I got all the new stuff. And then I got an analog versus digital EP, which I've done. Sometimes what I do is because I've got the same setup as I had when you first met me. Same setup, but I just got to turn it on, turn it off. So what I do sometimes is, and because of the art digital, I can put my analog stuff on and bounce it out live digitally, which I couldn't do before. So I got all my digital set up and I got all my analog set up. So I got an EP, analog versus digital, which is going to be very interesting. You hear the raw. I got all the raw bass lines I had before. I've got them all saved up. You know what I mean? So you'll be hearing some Cash beats for real.
I can't wait to hear that. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, catching up and learning some new things as well, obviously.
Blessing, yeah.
The album from Jon E Cash, as we said on Sneaker Social Club, is out in November. It's got all that is good for you on there. 12 ludicrous pieces of music that are so formative to this sound that I love. Go and pick that up and check it out. And as I said, there's a great zine in there, magazine in there that stories Jon E Cash's journey through life into music and into pioneering this brand new sound, which I'm going to get into the mix with now. You've been hearing a few of the iconic beats underneath this interview, but we're going to get into the mix for 30 minutes with tracks off this album, as well as some other beats that are some of my favorites and some forthcoming and unreleased tracks as well. So we're going to get into that right now. Johnny, thank you so much for coming through the studio.
Blessing. Thank you for having
Pleasure
me,
to reconnect again, because it has been a long time.
I remember Logan when you were a young kid, man. It's good to see what you did, man. You know what I'm saying? You've been there for a long time.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Right, let's get into this. We're going in the mix with Jon E Cash and some Sublow.